Gentlemen, we'll move forward with the next question which we have received, and this relates to, it's actually relating to Jehovah's Witnesses, and this is Ahmadiyya Muslim who's written in. He writes that my colleague is a Jehovah's Witness and he believes in the following text, and there's specific quotations he's given. The Bible teaches that Jesus lived in heaven before he came to earth. Micah prophesies that the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem, and also that his origin was from the early times. That's Micah 5:2. And on many occasions Jesus himself said he lived in heaven before being born as a human. And again, various quotes are given, John chapter 33 verse 13, etc. And there's a few other quotes, specific chapters given from the Bible. As a spiritual creature in heaven, Jesus had a special relationship with Jehovah. Please can you explain this? So very much an Ahmadiyya Muslim in discussion with a colleague of his who's quoted these specific biblical references. Jahangir Saab.
I think that the person from the Jehovah's Witness group has been interpreting these verses literally. Now we have to remember that out of all people ever sent by God, the one who is the most often remembered for his parables is Jesus Christ himself, may peace be upon him. And he used to speak in metaphors, and he used to use kind of mystical words to give a message to people. And not all people understood him. Unfortunately, it would seem that this is the case here. Now, if we turn to Micah chapter 5, verse 2, I'll just read that for you here. It says here, "But you, Bethlehem Ephrathah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from of old, from ancient times." Now, I personally don't see where this could be attributed to somebody having lived with God from before. Mm-hmm. The only thing which is being said here is that his origins go back, way back in time.
As do everyone.
Of course. Yes. Is that anything anything new? Mm-hmm. But perhaps that his origin in Judah is very ancient, and so that's all it's about. There's nothing to be inferred from this other than that. There's another reference which is given here, and that is John chapter 3 verse 13. And it reads here, "No one has ever gone into heaven except the one who came from heaven, the Son of Man." Now remember, Jesus is again speaking in parables, and he's definitely speaking in a metaphor here because he's calling himself the Son of Man, whereas we know he's the Son of no man. Mm-hmm. So obviously he couldn't mean that in the literal sense, mm-hmm. as he wasn't. So that means that you have to understand that anything I'm saying here is not literal, it's metaphorical. And he says that when he speaks of heaven, if you read one verse before that, that will be the key to understanding what I just read now. He said, and this is Jesus speaking, "I have spoken to you of earthly things and you do not believe. How will you then believe if I speak of heavenly things? No one has ever gone into heaven except the one who came from heaven, the Son of Man." Now he's only speaking of things material, physical, and they don't believe him. Mm. And now he's speaking of things heavenly. That is no reference at all to his having been in heaven before and having come from there. And similarly, all the other references which have been given here are to be interpreted in this metaphorical sense. So I think it's a non-question, really.
Yeah. I think there were a couple of questions, but I think just they sometimes say, and from the Holy Bible, the actual edition we have here, that was a direct quote. And I think in that you need no better answer, because the text that the Jehovah's Witness is actually quoting, I think your friend is quoting, is Bashir Saab actually answered within the scriptures itself. I think that's pretty much comprehensive. I think we don't need to pursue that one any further, because the Bible in this case has the answer for that question.
If I could just sum it up, it's that when you interpret the Bible, you have to look at the context, like you said, yeah. But you also have to remember that a lot of the words of Jesus are metaphorical. If we start interpreting his words literally, then we'll be doing a grave injustice to Jesus himself. So that's not to be, advised to people at all, and they should be asked to reflect upon that issue before they start interpreting.
Jazakallah.